Is XCN getting ready for about a 200+% move on the upside? In today's video, we are going to check out a potential bullish pattern that could be happening in here, and I'm going to tell you what are my thoughts on it, and can we have, after this small move down is over, another huge move on the upside. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones. And in case that you are a new viewer, because these days every single time that I make new videos I get a bunch of new viewers and subs, you should know that the general idea in XCN is actually very bullish. Why is that? Because I believe, in my primary case at least, this is off of the lowest low 1 2 3 4 5 wave up into a wave 1, followed by that a correction for wave 2 to about here. I would say potentially starting from this high about, let's say, 0.0033, and A, B, C in form of an expanded flat, and then this is another beautiful impulse on the upside into our wave 3. The current move down is probably a correction for wave 4, and after it's over, or who knows, maybe it's over already, we can expect another huge move up into our wave 5 in order to take the highest high in here for the first target around, let's say, like the 5 cents area. But I think we can actually go quite a bit higher than that. For example, a 10 cents XCN is not really that surprising at all. So the general idea, according to my primary scenario, this is important, my primary case is absolutely optimistic and bullish. Now, every single scenario should have a very important invalidation point for it, and for this possibility, this 1 2 3 4 5 is going to be taking this low right in here about, let's say, like 0.001. So if you see a huge move down in XCN, and in that move we take this low, okay, at that point this bullish scenario is invalidated, and this is going to be just a simple ABC zigzag up, and from here we can expect a continuation of the move down in order to take the lowest low and maybe go quite a bit more down than that. But as long as we're not doing that, and at least we're not seeing signs of doing that in XCN, I think it's safe to remain optimistic. Now, let's zoom in more and see what is going on. And I saw this in Twitter, and a lot of people calling this pattern a bull flag structure, and the idea is that this is our pull, followed by that we are probably having our flag, and soon we are going to break out of this pattern. And if this is happening, okay, what's going to be the target for it? First things first, we need to put the chart on regular scale, there we go, and measure the height of our pattern, the height of our pull from this point to about here, and put it at our supposedly breaking point. As you can see, that will give you about, let's say, like a 4 to 5 cents XCN, meaning from the current point we can expect like a 160 to potentially even 250% move on the upside. The question is, can this pattern be in play or not? The answer is kind of complicated. Again, I want to be very honest with you, and honesty usually doesn't really get a whole lot of views, but you know, here we are. I don't really care. Now, you see, whenever we are having a sustained uptrend, meaning just constantly higher highs and higher lows, in the middle of this uptrend, we can actually have a bull flag structure. This is going to be our pull, this is our flag, and then we can continue our move on the upside, and this will be a valid pattern. Now, in XCN, if you want to say this is a bull flag, then okay, before this flag, you need to find a sustainable uptrend. But as you can see in this phase, we had a move on the downside. So based on this only, I can tell you maybe this pattern is not going to be in play. However, I said also there is a chance that we may have a bull flag, and this is how. If you want to consider this whole move on the upside as a sustainable uptrend, okay, I guess maybe there is going to be an argument to be made for this move up to be in form of a flag structure. Personally, I don't really like this pattern. However, based on my method of analysis, Elliott waves, there is actually a chance that we may have a huge move on the upside, and I'm sure at that point a lot of people are going to say, look, this bull flag actually played out, and who knows, maybe they are right and I am absolutely wrong. Now, how can I say in terms of Elliott waves we're gonna have a huge move on the upside in XCN? Here is how. Let's go on 30-minute chart. Okay, you see, the idea in XCN is basically, currently at least, the same one that we are having at the moment in Yasmin Coin's price chart. Let's actually go on Yasmin Coins chart real quick from crypto.com. There we go. You see, in here, we are also having like a 100% move on the upside. And there is a chance that after this move down is over, we're going to get another move up. But we also said it in the Yasmin Coin video, we need to be a bit careful. Why is that? You see, whenever we are seeing like a very strong downturn that has taken quite some time, usually at the lows, some buyers are going to show up. Again, this is important. Pay attention. Some buyers are going to show up. Now, let's say with the amount of money that they have, they are going to only push the price up about 10%. But you are most likely at that point going to see price automatically going up, possibly for another 50 to even 60%. Why is that? Because this downtrend took so long and made a lot of people confident about the price just continue going down. That's why a lot of people in this phase actually opened some short positions, and their stop loss is right around this area. Now, in here, we said some buyers are going to show up, and with the amount of money that they have, they are only able to push the price up for like a 10 to 20%. After that, a lot of these short positions are going to get liquidated, and then you are going to see as a result of that an automatic rally on the upside. And this is the idea on XCN and also Yasmin Coins chart. Let's go back on XCN's chart. Excuse me. There we go. Okay, so what do we have in this phase down? Let's go on H1 time frame. As you can see, starting from here, about like a 3-4 months move on the downside. So a lot of people are willing to bet that had good amount of short positions in here. And the moment that some buyers show up, the price just jumped. Now, there is a chance that in XCN, this move up was caused as a result of some short positions getting automatically closed, meaning this move doesn't actually have a lot of power. In other words, if this scenario that I'm having in my mind is in play, okay, as a result of it, we are actually going to see a very strong move down in order to completely cover this short-term bounce. So this is kind of a pessimistic scenario suggesting in XCN, we're not even going to have another move up after this move down is over. And I think at any given moment, any analyst should be able to come up with a bullish and also a bearish possibility at the same time. And that was my bearish case. What about the bullish scenario? You see, the bullish possibility suggests we are having a starting from the lowest low, an impulsive structure on the upside, a beautiful one, and followed by that, the current move down is in form of a correction. And basically, from my point of view, this move down is going to determine whether this move up is actually backed by bulls or not. If it is actually backed by bulls, okay, we are going to have a slow and choppy move on the downside. And then if I see the right structures, right in here, you are going to see me calling for a decent move up in XCN in order to basically take this high for the first target around 2.6 cents. But I think if the bullish scenario is happening, we're going to go quite a bit higher than that. Why? Because on a higher degree, maybe this is an impulse up into a wave 1. This is a correction for wave 2. And the next move is going to be a big one up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. And this is how right in here, if we have something like this, a lot of people are going to say this bull flag actually worked, while in reality, this was just a 1-2 scenario and the current move up was as a result of a huge impulsive wave 3. So let's have a quick conclusion. In XCN, we can have two different scenarios. One scenario suggests this move up doesn't really have a lot of power, and from here we can expect a huge move on the downside. The other possibility suggests from these areas, possibly a bit lower, we can have another big move on the upside, and basically we can have like another 2 to even 300% move. I think that is kind of realistic. Now, which possibility is going to be in play? We cannot say anything for sure. There is no certainty in any market. But I think based on what is happening in here, we can have a decent guess of what might be next. And overall, I believe we should just take everything step by step and pay very close attention to the short-term price action. And based on that, let's go on 15-minute chart. Okay, so if you remember the last time that we talked about XCN, we were right around this area, and I said, look, this is a slow and choppy move on the upside, and also before it we had a beautiful 1 2 3 4 5 wave impulsive structure down. So makes sense to expect at least some more moves on the downside in XCN in the short term, and we had our moves. Now I'm going to say we are probably going to have at least another move on the downside, and I know this is really annoying, but if I see the evidence in here, I need to show it to you guys, and here is my argument for having another move down in XCN. I think if we are even bullish, we are having probably in the recent move down an ABC zigzag, which the subwaves for it are going to be like this: 1 2 3 4 5 wave down into a correction for wave B. Let's say this time a WXY. We can also have an ABC, possibly even a triangle, not really that important, and then 1 2 3 4 5 wave impulsive structure down into our C leg. Now let's go on the live chart, see what is happening. Excuse me, there we go. So here is what I have in my mind. We said it earlier, this is an impulse down, followed by that, I believe probably to about this point we are having a WXY on the upside. I can also see the argument of having an ABC flat in here. It's not really that important. Just notice this is, from my point of view, generally some sort of a correction structure, and from this high I think we can say this is 1, this is 2, 1 2 3 4 5 wave down into wave 3, correction for 4, and what are we going to have next? Who knows, maybe another move on the downside into wave 5, which in it we're going to take this slope down here about 1.6 cents, and at that point I'm probably going to say the sub waves for, you know it, an ABC zigzag is complete, and we can get a very strong bounce back. So in the short term, I need you to consider another move down in XCN, and if we don't get it, great, we are actually much more bullish than I initially thought. If we get it, well, okay, we're not going to be surprised, and we know basically what is happening in this area. Now what really matters is the move after this wave 5. If from here you see a move on the upside, a rather strong one, in order to take the height of our B leg right in here about, let's say, 2.2 cents, that could be a great sign suggesting this is an ABC, and this move up is actually backed by bulls, and we can say, well, okay, this is going to continue for quite some time, and who knows, maybe that bull flag is actually going to play out. Ultimately, if you do not want to be involved in any kind of short-term price action, and from my point of view, you should probably do that, you need to just wait a little bit more and see XCN getting a break of this unbelievably important resistance area between 2.4 to about 2.7 cents. If we break this level, okay, at that point we can actually be bullish with a lot more confidence. So for now, I would like to say it's just a bit of a waiting game. Let's wait for another move down and then a very strong bounce in order to get a break of this resistance area, and at that point you are going to see me being much more bullish than I already am in XCN's price chart. So I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in ONYX coin. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.